And in Germany, 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story. 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 We always need to hear both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Hour 106.
We wear the mask that grins and lies. It hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay to human guile. With torn and bleeding hearts we smile, and mouth with myriad subtleties. Why should the world be overwise in counting all our tears and sighs? Nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. We smile, but O great Christ, our cries to thee from tortured souls arise. We sing, but oh, the clay is vile beneath our feet, and long the mile. But let the world dream otherwise. We wear the mask.
The way I see this world right shouldn't have to be, 'cause now every man's cup is filled with hate and overflowing. Father, and nothing but one wrong, yeah, you take it than before. When it really checks that we could have run things, but it doesn't look so anymore, no. Come down, Father, come down. Come down, Father, come down. Whenever you come down, Father, come down. Please, come down, Father, come down. In my heart, I know that you won't let your chosen people suffer. I know you'll never let us down. No. Many times I could have picked up a gun, I could have go out the street and play the gun. That's no fun, no. Sure ain't no fun, no. 'Cause I think what would happen if the other man thinks the same? Then bullets fall like rain. It's no fun, no. No, it's no fun. Oh, I see greed and I see selfishness. Every man is for himself. Only you can talk to them, Father, 'cause they listen to no one else, no. Come down, Father, come down. I beg you, come down, Father, come down. Come to the hearts of those responsible. Let them know their actions are despicable. Remind them that it's you who wear the crown. Come down, Father, come down. how the people are moving and murmuring to myself. Woe unto the ones who think that you can do these wrongs and get away. Woe unto you, and watch out for your day. I wish it never had to be the way I see this world running. It shouldn't have to be, 'cause now everyone's cup is full with hate and overflowing. Father, I know things have gone wrong, yeah, wickeder than before. Really believe we could have run things, but it doesn't look so anymore now. Come down, Father, come down, Father. I need you come down, Father, come down, Father, come down, Father, come down. I need you come down, Father, come down.
The ageless and ever relevant Beres Hammond, Come Down, Father. And before that, we recited a piece entitled We Wear the Mask by Paul Lawrence Dunbar. We Wear the Mask by Paul Lawrence Dunbar. Lawrence is spelled Laurence in this instance. It's the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and 2022 marks the start of the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 11th day of the second month of 2022, the International Year of Sustainable Mountain Development, the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Glass, and the International Year of Artisanal Fisheries and Aquaculture. Reggae Month and Heart Month activities continue here in Jamaica, even as Americans, Canadians, Britons, and the Dutch celebrate February as Black History Month. It's Armed Forces Day in Liberia, Kenko Kukinen no Hi, or National Foundation Day in Japan, Youth Day in Cameroon, the anniversary of Lateranense Pacts in the Vatican City State, and National Career Awareness Week activities are drawing to a close here in Jamaica. Hoy es viernes el 11 de febrero 2022 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
Watching the time, how the people are moving and murmuring to myself. Oh, unto the ones who think that you can do these wrongs and get away. Woe unto you, and watch out for your day. I wish it never had to be the way I see this world running. It shouldn't have to be, 'cause now everyone's cup is full with hate.
C'est vendredi le 11 février 2022 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutent, que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 13h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Friday, the 11th of February, 2022, and we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
That's no fun, no. Sure ain't no fun, no, no. 'Cause I think what would happen if the other man thinks the same? Then bullets fall like rain. It's no fun, no. No, it's no fun. Oh, I see greed and I see selfishness. Every man is for himself. Only you can talk to them, Father, 'cause they listen to no one else, no. Come down, Father, come down. I beg you, come down, Father.
Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9, from Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15. NIS pensioners, early encashment continues. Any pension order voucher with a payable date in February 2022 may be encashed as of February 3. Collect your February payments at your convenience. Simply visit your designated post office. Pension vouchers can only be encashed at post offices. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Become the hero on the scene by taking the COVID vaccine. Get vaccinated as soon as you get all the facts. Don't listen to the rumors. This vaccine might just make it possible for teachers to sit face to face with schoolers. This vaccine make it safer for everybody, from the young to the elderly. Don't you want to go back to living normally when things were more orderly? And if you want to live a long good life, then we all have to do what's right. So let's get vaccinated along with the heroes on the front line. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
The way I see this world running shouldn't have to be. 'Cause now every man's got this very plate and overflowing. Father, enough things are going wrong, yeah. It's wickeder than before. It really takes said we could have run things, but it don't look so anymore. No, come down, Father, come down. Come down, Father, come down. Whenever you come down, Father, come down. Hey, come down, Father, take it, come down. In my heart, I know that you won't let you show.
Thanks if you're listening to us on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Subscribers to onespotmedia.com also have access to both sides of the story in particular and Power 106 FM in general. There are two designated numbers that you can use to reach us if you're in the United States and the United Kingdom. Reaching us from the standpoint of being able to listen to Power 106 FM. So there are a couple of numbers that you can dial if you're in the United States and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM. Please call 631-359-8281. 631-359-8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330-606-0953. 0330-606-0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. We welcome those of you who have found other ways and means of listening to both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. And we look forward to your full participation. Wherever in the world you are, think of this as a grand get-together every weekday 2 to 5. Members of this Jamaican family and friends of Jamaica at home and abroad getting together to share our experiences, to share our thoughts, our ideas, our concerns, our issues, our criticisms, etc., all in the name of making Jamaica a better place. And by extension, if we're able to do that, the region becomes a better place. And I dare say the world becomes a better place, because the culture of Jamaica is so infectious that we should never doubt the impact and the possibility of a long-lasting one at that. We thank those of you who are watching us on YouTube. There's a YouTube live streaming as well, the Dervan Malcolm YouTube channel. And we thank you, those of you who have already subscribed. Remember, there's no cost at all associated with your subscription. It's just for you to endorse the channel. That's it. It's just an endorsement. So we encourage you to hit the subscribe button, click on the like icon. So like the channel, subscribe to the channel, watch the channel. And you're getting the best of all worlds. And we thank you very much for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. And straight away, looks like we're going to Oslo in Norway, because Lady June is out the blocks early. I see O'Neill trying to get on. O'Neill, you're in Jamaican parlance, they would say your foot shot, because June got in ahead of you, and we're going to hear from her first. And you can always call us back, but we see your call coming in, but obviously June is on the line, so we're going to take her call first because she got in before you. Hello, June in Norway. How are you? Hold on. Let me just, O'Neill, can you hang up, please? Because you are, or let's hang up O'Neill. There we go. Yes, June, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. I'm proud to
my first grandson's birthday today.
If you could just back off the phone just a little, you're peaking, that your audio is peaking, and so the sound comes across distorted. So try that again with a little less emphasis on the volume from your end. Just back off a bit.
I say my first grandson.
Yes.
Living in New York. Her birthday today.
Oh, well, happy birthday. Happy birthday
Yes.
to your first grandson in
Yes,
New York.
26-year-old today.
We wish him well.
Yes. That's why I'm so proud as a sure. And my third granddaughter here in Norway.
Yes.
She get her service ticket yesterday. She can buy her own car and drive as much as she wants.
Oh, how does that work? You have to get some kind of what? Is that her driver's license or some kind of permission for her to operate a motor vehicle on the road in Norway?
Yes, she finished. She get her service ticket. She drive. She take her tests, driving test, theory, practice everything, and she finished yesterday.
Oh, I see. Well, congratulations to her.
18 plus.
18 plus.
So she can buy her own home. She can buy her own car.
All right, so jump back up a bit and help us to understand. When you say she got her certificate,
Hello?
You're not hearing us? Hello? Are you there? I'm hearing you, still hearing you. Hello? Well, maybe there's a problem on your end, Miss June. Are you there? Yeah, problem with the connection on her end, because as far as we could see, she was still very much connected, but she wasn't hearing us on her end, because we wanted to get an understanding of how this Scandinavian country works in terms, well, Norway in particular, with respect to this business of having to get a certificate. So we're trying to get, is it that you are tested, apart from doing a driving test, that there is some kind of assessment to determine whether you're fit and proper or you have reached the age of majority, as they say, to be able to buy a house, buy a car. We're just trying to get that understanding. So, Ms. June, call us back, please. We always try to learn. Even as we share, we like to learn from our listeners at home and abroad. All right. In the meantime, O'Neill, if you get back if you get back on, or if you get on ahead of Lady June, then so be it. But feel free to try us again, to try the number again. In the meantime, we still have a few messages to clear. Here's a call coming through. Yes, she's calling back. Thank you very much for calling back from Oslo, Norway. June, welcome again.
Yes, I just tried to explain.
Right, wanted you to explain that in terms of what does it mean to get this certificate? That's the correct pronunciation, of course, certificate. What does it mean to get this certificate? Is it that sorry, go ahead.
You can just drive and your brother or your sister then teach you to drive.
Oh.
That's not how it works.
How does it work?
Your brother can't teach you or your mother or your father, and also it works. And it go through the system.
So where would I go to? Where would I go to? Tell me, where?
You have to go through the system. You have to go to the school.
You have to go to driving school.
Yes, and you have to pass this theory.
Pass the theory.
You have to learn how to drive on the ice.
Oh, that is part of the training. You have to be able to drive on ice as well.
Yes, you have to learn to drive on the highs. You have to learn all the things. No man no papa can teach you to drive.
Oh. And so
And
once,
so it works.
yes. So at what age are you eligible to go to the driving school to learn to drive in Norway?
You can start very early, like in America, they say 16, but you cannot drive before you are 18.
In Norway, you can't start driving before 18, but you can learn to drive before 18?
Yes, and it's also, there's an insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Your insurance is very heavy to be young.
Oh, at that age, the insurance premium is going to be very high.
Yeah, Dervan, you know, so me not have to explain this thing to you.
No, man, because you are there as a Jamaican. We want to hear it from a Jamaican perspective. That's how we can relate to it.
And you want me to tell you something?
Uh-huh.
Me no want to Jamaican so much, okay? You can tell them me say something 100 times. And then up here, them put it to them in one way.
No, but we're also, but like you, we're also very good at adopting. Notice how we behave when we get to certain countries. Once we're outside of Jamaica, some of us are very well behaved. We become choir boys, as the expression goes, and we follow all the rules.
Jamaica, you're so concerned.
No, that's why we're trying to get it from you, as one who has a granddaughter who just got her license. But you also said she could now buy a house if she wanted to. That's what you said?
She can't marry, she can't buy a house, she can't do anything she wants because she's 18.
So she couldn't get married before 18?
So no matter try, you know, because she try the young girl when them are 15, 16, or 20, 30, you can't go to prison, you know.
All right, so no marriage before 18.
No little old man can't try the little young girl, you know.
I see what you mean.
All right. No matter how much money you have, you know, no matter run the risk with the little young girl, you know.
I hear you. Yes.
You just make joke. And you want me to tell you something?
Can you tell me after the break, please? Tell me after the break. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. Are you an NWC customer with multiple properties? You can add account numbers for those properties to be serviced using a single login profile. Just go to nwcjamaica.com and visit the customer web access portal. Try it now.
Did you know that the National Irrigation Commission Limited is the sole authority for irrigation systems in Jamaica? The National Irrigation Commission Limited enables the improvement in agricultural productivity through the provision of efficient and affordable irrigation to farmers and other customers. Contact them 977-6624 or 977-6727 or visit their website www.nicjamaica.com to learn more. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. June in Norway is online. You were going on to tell us something else.
Yes, me I tell you now. Say, I saw you go. Young man can't look old man.
What
old man has to be careful with looking young man.
Oh, in Norway.
Yeah, I know, so you have to find your age group.
I see.
These things happen here, but it depends on culture. You have the Pakistani and the Indian, and when married them picnic because everything I keep in the family. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
All the richness of it keep in the family, but I know so you go. But Okay, now right now you have the prince, the princess. You have one new princess now you too. And she and my daughter, and my granddaughter just born 1 month beside and and she a fly plane, you know.
At 18.
Yeah, because yes, but she couldn't do it before. And now she gonna be maybe the next queen and now it. And she a 18, but leave it there.
So tell me about.
She live for her own life because she don't want to sit down in the house with no king and queen. She want to fly plane and she want to drive boat. She want to live her own life.
So, how would you describe the monarchy in Norway? With the queen and the king and the princess and all of that. What, that sounds like a fairy tale.
Yeah, to be honest, these people don't care so much anymore about. You want me to tell you something about it? I'm gonna believe it. You know, my granddaughter and the princess go to the same school.
We're not surprised. After all, your family is from royalty, aren't you? Aren't they? Your family is royalty.
And my grandson, he might go be 15 and 16, and he might go to the same school too. And it's just, and you know, it's just 5 minute walk from where I'm living.
Oh.
I'm never tell you something more way even worse than that. You see Russia fight war and blah blah blah. You know me have 2 grandchildren with Russian, 1 boy and 1 girl. Them are Russian. Their father is from St. Petersburg.
It sounds like we should be calling on you to go and talk to Vladimir Putin based on your family.
I know you want a little joke.
Tell me.
When my little grandson did born, we call him little Putin.
Oh, really?
So God, when my little grandson did born, him a 16-year-old or so, we call him little Putin.
I see.
I will never do.
Go ahead.
Listen, me have two grandchildren, 1 boy and 1 girl. Russian.
Yes, man, we heard that.
Their father is from St. Petersburg.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Yes, but my daughter and him is not the husband. They are not together anymore because of language different.
Well, so it is.
It was very difficult to communicate.
Well, they obviously managed to get other communication going, though. Hence the grandchildren. But anyway.
Okay, wait a little bit. My husband just gonna say bye-bye.
Hello?
All right. It's Jude husband speaking.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. It's good to hear your voice. And it seems how long have you been married now?
Oh, it's 23 years, I think.
Oh, sounds like a long time.
Yeah, some years.
Yes. Wonderful. Right. Well, it's good to hear your voice again. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All the best.
Yeah. Bye from me.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care, June. All the best. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Deborah.
What does that mean? See you soon? Or goodbye?
Hello?
Does it mean see you soon or goodbye? All right, I think we lost the connection there again. Sorry about that. But thank you very much, June in Norway. Just once again reminding us as Jamaicans how metropolitan we are as a people, and how universal we are in our relationships and our experiences, and how much that essentially those features help to pave the way for other Jamaicans. Because once a Jamaican makes an impression, whether good or bad, it lasts forever. It lasts forever. Thank you very much, June in Norway, for sharing with us on this afternoon's edition of Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Text line same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us. You can dial direct that WhatsApp line as well, and we'll be happy to welcome you. Clearing some of the messages. Once again, congratulations to Paul Harrison and his team from Tropical Sun Foods, committed to the development of Jamaica's education system. 35 of the brands manufactured by Tropical Sun Foods, 35 of their products are made right here in Jamaica. And Tropical Sun Foods is based in the United Kingdom. So we look forward to some of the fruits that will come from the meetings that Paul Harrison had over the last, I think he's still here, that he has had over the last several days. We look forward to the fruits of his labor in that regard. So here's O'Neill now, finally getting a chance to get through on the WhatsApp line. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello.
Hi, Pete, what's up?
I am fine, thanks. And you?
I am doing well myself.
Good.
Just trying to join this big veranda that you talk about.
Yes.
Want to pull one on you. The fact that you drew the analogy of a veranda talk with what we have here at evening time. Does it mean that the content of our conversation, we don't have to pay too much attention?
No, this is still radio. This is still radio. Free to air radio, daytime radio. So if you fail to follow the rubric, then all we'll do is just press the button, and whatever you say will not go on air.
I'll jump off the veranda all of a sudden. A couple of things, Dervan. I've always said that you teach me that we should put, when we look at issues, we should put I'm not quoting you, but I think you're saying that we should put more stocks in institutions rather than individual.
Absolutely. Individuals are transient. What's it, the gospel song? This world is not my own. I am just passing through, or words to that effect. So we are transient, and people come and people go. And so we must build resilient institutions that can outlast us as a people.
Yeah. I said that to say this, that I find that as a people, we, for the most part, is as if we are lacking where that is concerned. And when we look at I don't know if you can call it a report from the DPP along with the the one that governs the police behavior. What's his name? What's your name again?
In the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM.
Right. When I follow the conversation that is out there, it's as if we don't put much stocks in those two institutions, so that when they speak, I'm not saying we should give any institution a blank check, but where they are with the know-how, where they have the evidence to test whatever is put before them, and they come up with a finding, I think we have to give a little bit more respect to what they do. You know, and I think we have to do a little bit more to educate our people to understand the role of these institutions and to give them a little more latitude for them to do their work. Where the two institutions is at one on this situation with what's the lady name, Nzinga?
Yes.
That's what they call her?
Yes. Nzinga King.
Yes. And we know that these two institutions, they don't really I don't want to say Plangungwa line, but they hold no brief for each for each sides. They are doing their own job. It just means that at some points they might have to come together. But it is not, you can't say, I don't want to use the wrong word, you can't say they collude, but they do their own investigations. But the DPP has the final say as to what goes before the court. Am I right there?
Yes, the in general terms, yes.
Yeah, because in the come underneath, Terrence Williams wanted to run to court with some stuff, and he find himself in problems.
Right.
So it is always good for them to get the opinion or get the professional advice of the DPP's office. And I really want for us as a people to understand that the office is not just about Miss Paula Llewellyn. They are reputable persons with high qualification that works there. So whatever they put out, yes, her face is the face of the institution, but it is bigger than her.
One moment, please. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Relax, Paul, cover your nose and your mouth now and stay far from me. It looks like the flu have you aware.
I mean to tell you, I have fever this morning. Right now, I'm in some pain. But I still have a try go for Pinky go get some phone credit.
It's like you never hear a thing where the nurse tell me the other day. She said we feel rest if we have the flu. We feel cover our nose and our mouth when we cough or we sneeze. And we feel wash our hand regular with soap and water. You better try go back to your yard and stop spread the flu. The flu is no joke. Visit your doctor or nearest health center. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
In need of a locksmith? Call LockSafe and Vault Limited, the experts in the business, specializing in safes, vault doors, cash protector units, locks, crowd control, and locksmith services. LockSafe and Vault Limited, 40 Shortwood Road, Kingston 8. Telephone 924-555023 or 924-01245.
Jesus. Oh, Jesus, oh, how I love to call your name.
Tune in to Power 106 FM for the longest running religious calling program on Jamaican radio, The Prayer Line. Join Pastor Errol Hay and his team as they offer spiritual guidance and intercession grounded in biblical doctrine. Hear powerful testimonies from Jamaica and around the world. The Prayer Line. a source of support and inspiration in these trying times. That's the prayer line on Power 106 FM, Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Join us.
You shall live, declare the works of the Lord. Amen. You shall be a living testimony here on the Lord's side. Watching the time, how the people are moving and murmuring to myself. Woe unto the ones who think that you can do these wrongs and get away. Woe unto you, and watch out for your day. I wish it never had to be the way I see this world running. Shouldn't have to be, cause now everyone's cup is full with hate and overflowing. Father, I know things have gone wrong, yeah, wickeder than before. Really believe we could have run things, but it doesn't look so anymore. No, come down, Father, come down. I beg you, come down, Father, come down.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Thanks for holding.
Yes, Dervan. So I was saying that we have to do more to educate our people as to the role of these institutions and the importance of building strong institutions and to create that trust in them, because without the trust, Dervan, we won't benefit from these institutions. When they come with a ruling, the people will be disgruntled more time than not if the trust is not there. So the question I want to ask you, Dervan, you're on the veranda and I don't want a monologue. I want you to talk with me. The question I want to ask you, do you think that Miss Llewellyn has dropped the ball as it relates to educating us as to what to look for from her office? Following the comments, I don't feel that we fully understand what's her role and what people are saying why she never make it come a court, not knowing that she the burden to ensure that the case must have this milk out, as you were saying yesterday, what a prima facie case. There must be something there that says this can stand up in front of court.
No amount of public education, is going to stop people. No amount of public education is going to stop people from expressing themselves. We have all kinds of views, informed, uninformed, and otherwise. We, as human beings and as Jamaicans, we will always have an opinion, even if we are clueless as to what the subject matter is, and we're not going to get away from that. What we have to ensure is that the institutions that we set up and the holders of the offices that we invest in this country are beyond reproach. That's all we can do. Just ensure that whatever our systems or processes or laws, that they are administered as they were intended, and that the people we appoint are people who meet the standard. And if the people we appoint appear to be losing it, in a manner of speaking, there are established protocols and processes and procedures that they would have to go through based on how the certain offices are set up. So it's about making the to go back to the earlier point that you referenced about building resilient institutions, building institutions that will outlast all of us. That is the idea. So it shouldn't matter. When we make it about the individual, when we make the discussion about the individual, then we're just engaging in everyday talk, quite frankly. When we understand institutions and how they function, then we would have an appreciation for the decisions. We don't have to agree with the decisions. And nothing is wrong with arguing or debating decisions. But when we start attack people's character, then it undermines the very position that we take, because it's something that we do as human beings, sadly, that when we can't win a debate, or we feel we won't win a debate, or we feel the only way to win a debate is to attack the messenger, as opposed to dissect and discuss and otherwise examine the message.
Yes, but I'm still lobbying, and you know my pet peeve, Dervan. I always want these bodies or these institutions to come down to the community level, and so it brings me to my pet peeve where
any law, and Miss Llewellyn will be seated on the ground, or as my late mother would say, with a dead on a dirty. In other words, when you look at the history of directors of public prosecutions in this country, and some of us tend to forget this, there was a time when the DPP would just hand down a 2-sentence ruling or pronouncement, and that's it. The DPP would not say anything else, would not feel obligated, would not be obligated to explain to the general public. We have seen and heard over and over this director of public prosecutions, DPP, Paula Llewellyn, painstakingly explaining. Can we take this out while your background is very noisy? We're going to have to wrap shortly. I'm sorry, I'm allergic to noise. But we would have to, she has over the years painstakingly gone through every single, well, for the most part, especially those that are of great public interest, in explaining why this decision, both in written form as well as in oral form. So nobody can fault Paula Llewellyn. In fact, some people fault her for talking too much. So there she is, giving the public education that you are calling for, O'Neill. And there are those who say, well, she's talking too much. She doesn't need to be saying so much, or something to that effect. So you can't win. Damn if you do, damn if you don't, which is why what we have to do in our best judgment, do the right thing. And we know that that is subjective, but we should be smart enough and cerebral enough, especially in our respective area of expertise, to be able to make a decision that can stand up to scrutiny. Yes.
To close this one, Dervan, I won't end without putting in my little plug. Because you know I like to advocate for these institutions to send people to the CDCs.
Don't take it for granted that those listening know what you're referring to when you talk about CDCs.
The Community Development Councils.
There you go. Now everybody knows.
Yes, you know that is my pet peeve. Send some persons come down here and have them brief us and give us a workshop so that we can carry the message back to our institution, because the Community Development Council are made up of people who come from different interest groups within the community. So persons are coming from the school, from the church, wherever there is an organization within the community, they send a member. So when that member comes to the council, and hear and learn, they bring it back to their local, wherever they are living, where they are germane. So I won't end without giving a plug for that. We want to see the thing filter down so that persons can say, okay, that's what that office is really about. Oh, I did not know. You know, and so that we can cut the level of ignorance that is in our country. I heard a statement earlier this morning. Somebody says, why do we think our vaccination rate is only better than 80 within the Caribbean? And I had to scratch my head and say, okay. You see what I'm going, Dervan?
No.
Our vaccination rate we are only better than 80 within the Caribbean. That doesn't say something to you.
It says what we've always known, that apart from Jamaicans being a last minute people, we also have Jamaicans who are operating in an environment which is loaded with information, and everybody wants a leg up on the other. And so what we do is that we try to consume as much of it as possible, no matter how flawed or false the information. We try to consume as much of it as possible, because then when we meet up with friends and colleagues and we call talk shows, we can express ourselves accordingly, even if the information we're putting out is not factual. So that's a big part of the problem. So Jamaicans, too many of us, are unable to effectively dissect the information and process it, and then to apply a level of thought and intellectual rigor to it. There are those who are street smart and those who know what they know by virtue of their experience, and also just knowing that what is as simple as that, and they just tell it like it is. But it's a function of our culture, and everybody wants to be able to say, I know it, and I know this, and I know that. And once they latch on to something, once Jamaicans latch on to something, as my late mother would say, kill them dead, they're not letting go of it. And so that's really what is exhibiting itself. And also, if I don't like who the prime minister is, and the prime minister is telling me that I must take the vaccine, I'm not with no prime minister, I'm not going to take the vaccine. There is that too. And there's a Jamaican expression that says, me no care where you want to say. In other words, you could be talking the truth. They're not interested in that. They are just furthering, they're just continuing to massage their own ego. EGO, man's biggest problem. We're going to a break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock.
Jesus, Jesus, oh Jesus, Jesus, oh how I love to call your name.
Tune in to Power 106 FM for the longest running religious calling program on Jamaican radio.
This
The
is
Prayer
live.
Line.
Everything
Join
here is
Pastor
live.
Errol Hay
Careful
and
what
his
you
team
say.
as they offer spiritual guidance and intercession grounded in biblical doctrine.
Lorna, I haven't seen
Hear
anything.
powerful testimonies from Jamaica
That's for this
and
afternoon?
around the world.
But apart from that, there are a couple of interviews.
The Prayer Line, a source of support and
Yeah, she sent
inspiration
me
in
messages.
these trying times. That's the Prayer Line
Right.
on Power 106
So I
FM.
guess this is
Sundays
this
at
is supposed
6:30
to.
p.m.
Yeah,
Join us.
understood. Thanks.
Amen. You shall be a living testimony. You're on the Lord's side.
Come down, Father, come down. Whenever you come down, Father, come down.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Yes, O'Neill?
Yes, sir, but I have 2 more, need you to guide me as to whether or not I can go on or somebody else need to come on.
We have a couple of scheduled interviews, but not yet. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I want you to let us interrogate this pet peeve of yours a little bit. You say I want you to say it. You said justice is not about. You can carry on from there, sir.
No, it's. I like to say that justice is not about war. It's not about peace. It's not about truth. It's not about honesty. It's not about integrity. It perhaps isn't about justice itself. In the criminal law, in particular, in the criminal court, it's about proving beyond a reasonable doubt that someone is innocent or otherwise.
That's a part that I think was missing, particularly in the criminal court.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to you and I was saying something is missing there. Because what is the use of justice if it is not about all of these nice things?
No, it's not. It's about proving beyond a reasonable doubt that someone is innocent or otherwise. That's what it boils down to. How many times have we heard people say, or people saying, you know, them know said the man guilty because them see him, etc., etc. And people have all kinds of, people want to know how him get off or how she get off. You know, the same thing with O.J. Simpson, a high-profile case there. And there are other high-profile cases in Jamaica, for example, with a couple of politicians. People want to know how them get off, etc. They got off not because anybody liked them or hated them, but because a lawyer or a team of lawyers were able to prove doubt or beyond a reasonable doubt, to create doubt or to present a position beyond a reasonable doubt.
So then should it be then that we should remove justice as the word then?
No. We don't need to change the language.
Because I would want to believe that justice should be about all of those nice things that you.
Justice is what justice does.
Because when I look at the Bible version of justice, Isaiah tells that the Lord is let justice run down like a river, where he's asking for or to look out for the disenfranchised among us.
No, but there are different streams of justice. That's just another stream of justice.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a series of streams coming from a source. And they go in different directions. They go in different directions, but their character remain intact.
Okay. All right. Let's leave that one. This big influential hotel that's the chairman for Sanders. He says that.
I mean, Hotel Mogul, M-O-G-U-L, Mogul.
I want you to guide me here. Yes.
Mogul, yes, M-O-G-U-L.
Yes. So guide me here now, Dervan.
With what?
If I should say to Mr. Sanders here, what's the correct name for him?
Adam Stewart.
Yes, Mr. Stewart. Is it a case that the persons who work for him, he doesn't has mandates?
He doesn't have. You conjugated the first verb already, so you don't need to conjugate the second verb.
Go again.
He doesn't have, not he doesn't has. Once you conjugate the first verb, you don't need to conjugate the second verb. So if you say he doesn't, then what should follow is have and not has. Just a teachable moment, really. Yeah, he doesn't have.
He doesn't have mandates for what time his workers come to work, what uniform they wear and how they should live on his property.
We're in a free and democratic society. Or sorry, you weren't finished. Go ahead.
So I'm asking you if I'm stretching it a bit far, if I should see him and ask him that.
Well, you're free to ask him anything, I would imagine. He's just as affable as his late father was, and no doubt would be prepared to engage you in discussion. Like everybody else, he too has an opinion. But in the final analysis, whatever decision or decisions are made in this country must be on the basis of what is acceptable. I don't think that's the word I want, though. What is, it must be demonstrably justified. That's the term. It must be demonstrably justified in a free and democratic society. And the last time I checked, Jamaica is still a free and a democratic society. So people, as we like to say on this program, people are free to do whatever they want to do. People are free to say whatever they want to say, so long as that freedom does not infringe on another person's freedom.
Yeah, so fit that now within the context of the conversation. When I'm saying that he's saying he's anti-mandates as it relates to the COVID protocols and vaccine and all of that.
And he is free so to be.
But as an influential member of our community,
nobody can influence you without your permission. Whatever your fundamental principles are, you determine who is your influencer. And be careful that, well, you also have to be mindful that some influencers are like influenza.
But I hear Dervan quoting, I think it was PJ, when he says that some people don't have the luxury to say everything and anything.
Yeah, well, Donald Trump threw that out the window a long time ago. But it is a fact. Mr. Patterson said it, and he is right. That's how it's supposed to be. That is how it's supposed to be. When he said that when you occupy certain positions, you give up freedom of speech. So the Prime Minister of Jamaica is not able to just run his mouth to say anything. He can't just get up and say whatever he feels like saying because he's the Prime Minister of Jamaica. It's the same thing for the President of the United States. Donald Trump was an aberration in that respect, but it's the same thing. Stock markets can crash based on what the leader of the country says, and a host of other things can happen. So when you occupy those key positions, you give up freedom of speech. You give up freedom of speech. You're not free to run your mouth. Yes, sorry, go ahead.
So you stop at public officers?
No, not necessarily. But the point is, I keep going back to people are free to do what they want to do. People are free to say what they want to say, as long as that freedom does not infringe on another person's freedom. Adam Stewart was expressing himself, and he has expressed himself. People can agree or disagree with whatever he said, but whatever he does, he must ensure that it is within the confines of the laws of Jamaica, land we love. Otherwise, other actions will have to be pursued.
Okay, Dervan, this receipt here for this evening.
Sure. Thank you very much for the call.
Yeah, man. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for calling. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And let's just check in here to see. Right. So we have time. We have time for more of your messages and more of your calls. There's a voice note here, which we haven't had the opportunity to screen. This one says, "Good day, sir. I wish for you and your family a God bless weekend, coming from Rohan Johnson of Atlas Ocho Rios." So that must be Atlas Security in Ocho Rios. Good afternoon to you and all the best to you and your family for the weekend. Rohan Johnson of Atlas Ocho Rios. Take care. Here is another one. This one from Eureka. Eureka says, "Please disregard my previous text." Well, we didn't get around to reading it anyway. But here's your text for today. Let's read it. "Hi, Dervan. The problem with some Jamaicans is that we don't read." Why does that sound familiar? Sounds like a message that Simon Crosskill got earlier. But anyway, the problem with some Jamaicans is that we don't read. We love hearsay and sus. We extend our veranda and bar talks to social and mainstream media. None of us who weren't present in the cell where Nzinga was held can honestly say for sure who cut the young lady's hair. I read the entire Gleaner report, or you mean the report, the entire report in the Gleaner. There's a difference there. I read the entire report in the Gleaner, and I can't come to a conclusion as to who to believe. I'm urging all well-thinking Jamaicans to read the ruling without the emotions. When you've completed your reading, can you honestly say if you can honestly support either side? We seem to have sympathy for those we consider underprivileged, even when they are wrong. We are not going to do better as a country if we continue on this trajectory. Thank you very much for your message, Eureka. And yes, as human beings, we take positions of convenience as human beings. So if somebody who I support says something, even if it is wrong, I am going with it because this is somebody who, this is the person I support. Whether that person is a politician, a talk show host, a preacher, whomever. You get the idea. Let's take the break and come back with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15. Jesus, Jesus, oh Jesus, Jesus, oh how I love to call your name.
Tune in to Power 106 FM for the longest running religious call-in program on Jamaican radio, The Prayer Line. Join Pastor Errol Hay and his team as they offer spiritual guidance and intercession grounded in biblical doctrine. Hear powerful testimonies from Jamaica and around the world. The Prayer Line, a source of support and inspiration in these trying times. That's The Prayer Line on Power 106 FM, Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Join us.
You shall live, declare the works of the Lord. Amen. And you shall be a living testimony. You're on the Lord's side.
Come down, I beg you, come down, Father, come down, Father, come down, Father, come down, I beg you, come down, Father, come down,
Excuse me, Adrian, I'm going to send you a couple of songs for a couple of the interviews I'll be doing. I don't know if you have them in your system. But I'll send them. If you find them in the system, fine. If not, then I will send you the link. Thanks.
Watching the time how the people are moving and memory to myself. We should never had to be the way I see this world running. Shouldn't have to be. Cause now every man's got this belly paid and overflowing. Father, I know things are going wrong, yeah. It's wickeder than before. It really checks that we could have run things, but it never looks so anymore. No. Come down, Father, come down. Come down, Father, come down. Oh, yeah, beg you come down, Father, come down, please. Hey, come down, Father, beg you come down. In my heart, I know that you won't let your chosen people suffer. I know you'll never let us down.
I'll send the songs shortly.
Many times I could have picked up a gun, I could have go out the street and play big gun. That's no fun, no. Sure ain't no fun, oh no. Cause I think what would happen if the other man thinks the same? Then bullets fall like rain. It's no fun, no. No, it's no fun. Oh, I see greed and I see selfishness. Every man is for himself. Only you can talk to them, Father, cause they listen to no one else, no. Come down, Father, come down. I beg you, come down, Father, come down, Lord. Talk to the hearts of those responsible. Let them know their actions are despicable. Remind them that it's you who wear the crown.
Wrong artist.
Father, come down, yes. I beg you, come down, Father, come down, God. Oh, come down,
That one.
Father, come down, yes. Come down,
The other one now
Father, come down,
is
watching the time how the people are moving and remembering to myself.
so the first name I sent you is this song that I just sent you. Hmm? No, the one I just sent. Yeah, right.
This world running shouldn't have to be, cause now everyone's cup is full with hate and overflowing. Father, I know things are going wrong, yeah. It's wickeder than before. Really believe
No.
we could have run things, but it doesn't look so anymore. No. Come down, Father, come down. I beg you, come down, Father, come down. Father, come down, Father, come down.
Two. Frankie Campbell is going to be on this.
Watching the time how the people are moving and remembering to myself. We should never had to be.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program. Both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, and taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And let's see here now. A lot of messages to clear. We'll do our best. Rudy Page says hello from sunny London. Welcome, Rudy Page. Audrey Smith is in Southampton in England. She says, afternoon, Dervan and listeners everywhere. Wishing you all a happy and blessed weekend. Tuning in from Southampton. Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Wishing all a blessed weekend. Sophia Nemard from Newell in St. Elizabeth says, good afternoon. Please say hello to Miss Dorrit White from Newell. Big up yourself, Miss D, and have a wonderful weekend. Mikey Jarrett is in Brooklyn, New York. He says, Friday afternoon blessings and blessed love to you too, Mikey Jarrett in Brooklyn, New York, and all the other Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica in New York. Reverend MacDonald in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada is tuned in. He says, good afternoon to you and all who will join the program today. God love to bless people with life, hope, love, peace, and greatness. Jacqueline Simmons, good afternoon to you. Sharon Richard says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. Happy Friday. Glad to be in class today. Have a blessed weekend. Breezy Savlamar, thank you very much. Stay warm in breezy Savlamar. Sharon Richards. Dorrell Blake says, bless up everything good. Dervan Malcolm, continue on the path of righteousness to keeping Jamaicans from all walks of life safe and prosperous, including our diaspora born overseas in these perilous times and health crisis, COVID-19. Be well, stay strong. Blessings always. Thank you, Dorrell Blake. Elroy Joseph says, good afternoon, Teach. Good afternoon, Elroy. Norman Hines in St. Thomas, good afternoon to you. Faye Weller says, blessed love, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Keep safe. Same to you, Faye Weller. Nigel McRae says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Good information about the court. Elroy Joseph says, yes, teacher, you're at work as always. Neriga Smart Morgan 7 says, Neriga Morgan, sit down in your class. You're never too old to learn. Teach me them a teacher. Me Louise Bennett, may your soul continue to rest in peace. Thank you for this language. Trust me, me really I learn. Kudos to you, Sir Malcolm. You're very kind, Neriga Smart Morgan 7. Thank you very much for your message. Let's hop across to YouTube and say good afternoon to Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine. Donovan Campbell says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Present for class. Kareen Campbell says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I like the way in which you distribute the information each day so we can equally learn. And this one says, we need call center in Buff Bay and Port Antonio in Portland. Who knows? Who knows? At the rate at which things are going, maybe sooner rather than later. All the best. The Met Office has been updating us on the state of our climate, and in particular, I was trying to retrieve the story having to do with the rains that we expect somewhere in central Jamaica and the implications for drought or staving off drought, those rains that are projected for central Jamaica. These stories, they change them on the Gleaner's website. They update from time to time. So sometimes you see a story earlier on and then you go back to find it and it's no longer there. But that was one of the stories we saw, and we'll come back to that. But weather-wise, while we're on it, there's a trough across Jamaica. And as we always say, when you hear the word trough, think cloudiness, think thunder showers, and some people like to think bad weather. But you know, we try to stay away from referring to any weather as being bad. That's quite subjective. Nature has to do what nature does. So that trough is still in the area. It's still lingering across Jamaica. And so we can expect scattered showers across most parishes this afternoon with isolated thunderstorms across western parishes. Yes, indeed. There was a sprinkling earlier on. And that is that. So let's move on. More from you, our faithful listeners at home and abroad. Let's continue with WhatsApp. Who is this? Darrell says present. All right. Welcome, Darrell. Good to have you on board. And Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Mary is shouting out everybody across the world. Thank you very much. And let's see, there's a message here. Next message, threefold message. Let's hope we can fit it in the time. We have a scheduled Reggae Month feature coming up, and we don't want to do a disservice to Crocs's message. Crocs, would you mind if we take your messages afterwards, because we won't be able to get them in the order in which you would like us to read them. So we're going to take the liberty of putting them on pause while we meet our obligation of the latest in our series of Reggae Month interviews, right? So if that is okay with you, Crocs, that's what we're going to do right now. If it's not, let us know. But even then, if we start reading your message, we're going to end up having to stop midway because it would be time for the break. So your choice, Crocs in Black River. And I'm knowing you, I know exactly what you would choose, I think. Thank you very much. Let's go now to some information here, which will take us up to the break. Let's come down. So born on this day in 1847, Thomas Alva Edison, the prolific American inventor who jointly or singly held more than 1,300 patents. Thomas Edison differed from earlier inventors by using a sustained and organized invention process. In 1876, he combined his research laboratory with his manufacturing facility. From then until his death in 1931, he worked tirelessly to produce a steady flood of commercially viable products. Among Thomas Edison's inventions were the phonograph, I believe that's the record player, the incandescent electric lamp, the microphone, and the kinetoscope. Little Al, his folks called him, or Alva or Al, was a curious child, always asking questions. Did you hear that? The great Thomas Edison was a curious child, always asking questions. We have a habit of shutting down our children when they start to ask questions. That's backward. That's backward. We need to listen to them. After all, they have thoughts too. Hello. They're human beings too. We need to listen to them and stop shutting them down. They have questions. If we don't know the answer, then let's find a source to get the answer to them. How about that? Let's go to the break and come back with our Reggae Month feature.
Importers, provide proper invoices for customs when presenting goods for examination. This could prevent delays during clearance. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30.
Consumer Talks, educating and empowering consumers towards a more vigilant and confident consumer-friendly Jamaica. Join us every second and last Tuesday of each month at 9:35 on Real Business. Listen and learn about your rights and responsibilities. Learn how the CAC works to empower consumers in Jamaica. Consumer Talks, brought to you by the Consumer Affairs Commission, protecting your rights, securing our future.
Who's this again?
Now you're a yaga yaga. I wanna be one too. Okay, friend.
So you're getting him? Because he's not until 4:30. But if you're... Yeah. You want to just fade that out and go to the other one?
Like the way that
Giving you a bit of a teaser as to what to expect, in our Reggae Month feature this afternoon on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. So Errol Dunkley will be joining us. Yes, you heard the song a while ago. So make the connection. That's Errol Dunkley. He'll be joining us at 4:30 this afternoon. But of course, 1 hour before that, which is any moment now, we're going to have a word with Horace Andy. And if that name doesn't ring a bell, then maybe this song will.
the skylight, the skylight, see what you used to do today. The skylight, the skylight, before they stand up firm on their feet. Yes, I did your work.
It's all right. That's fine. So you have, okay.
Begging you advice, sir. Begging you attention, sir. Can I tell? No, get it. So if you keep on doing what you are doing, you will end up in change.
Errol Dunkley, good afternoon to you and welcome to Both Sides of the Story on Power 106 FM. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm really good.
Yes, and I know you're not skylarking.
No. But I never played the original. It's 21.
Well, that's the one that we have access to here. I'm like you too, I love originals. I love to play only originals, but this is the one that we have access to here.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm with you on that. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we can. Let's see what we can do. But this is the one that we have access to right now. So then, what can you tell us about how busy have you been for Reggae Month? What has Reggae Month 2022 been like for you so far?
Well, it's not really big. Well, so far I like the show, and that was brilliant this morning. I really, really, really love what happened this morning. We all of our great talents, and legends,
For those of us who missed what happened this morning, tell us, please.
Come again, please.
You said there was something that happened this morning?
No, the show, Reggae Month. We had a show this morning. Light parts, a lot of us. It's still going on now with the band, with Fab Five and lot more artists, Diamond, Yellowman. It's been happening now.
Oh, so it's an ongoing concert, non-stop.
It's today. Yeah, we finished. Then Light Parts finished. It was Tom Lins, Errol Dunkley, George Nooks, Boris Garner, and me. It was really nice. But when we were leaving, all the other acts were coming in, and the band.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really nice for Reggae Month. So it will be showing. It's playing. So it will be showing.
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, I get you now. I understand. Because I'm seeing a lineup of events, for example, for this evening. I see something for 6 o'clock this evening, Global Reggae Night Rewind. I don't know about that. I see in the reggae studio, Ernie Smith at 7:40 this evening.
Okay.
White River Reggae Bash, John Holt at 8:30 p.m. And Echoes of Sound System, Ghetto Star versus Jamrock at 9 o'clock tonight.
Okay. So that's all on TV or on the radio?
It apparently, let me see, it's going to be on PBC Jamaica. That's on cable.
Yeah.
It's on the JCDC's Facebook page, the Ministry of Culture, Gender and Entertainment and Sport page, as well as the minister's Facebook page.
Okay.
Yeah, so it will be all over.
Okay. Well, we started our one this morning. It was
Right.
really nice, you know, really nice.
It sounds that way. So what have you been doing in this period of COVID-19? Have you been like under lockdown for the whole time, or have you been able to find ways of keeping your mind and your body active?
Yeah, man. Well, you know, I've been working 3 years now, you know, but I will be working this summer, you know, and yeah, man, exercise, man. I mean, a health freak, you know.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, but this month is also my birthday, and I get a real gift because I have a new album, and it was given album of the month, and Nova, and no, not Nova, Mojo.
Yes.
So everyone loves it. It's a brilliant album, so I'm still working, you know.
Oh, that's very good. So you continue to work.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And
I have a lot of music that's not been released. I have my own studio, and I have about 5 albums.
Oh.
Just to get the right people to work with, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to get the right people to work with.
Right.
Say some more on that. What do you mean?
No, I distribute. I don't want no one to send my music and don't give me any money.
Oh.
That was in the past.
Right. But tell us about that, because there was a time we've heard so many stories that artists like you have been taken for a ride,
Yeah,
you know, over the years. So compare that time to now.
Well, my brother, we're still in limbo in this time, same way. You know? When I was young, I just love singing. So I would just sing. You know? But in those times you have to wait to get royalties, but every 3 months. So if the song don't release, you can't do so. That's why I would just sing, and all these people, you know, Bonnie, all of them exploit us. You know, I'm Mr. Dad, man. Until this day, they say Mr. Dad is cruel, but I know he's not.
Yes.
You know, I know he's not. It's the people that we left and sing for. I haven't got a penny from nobody, Bonnie, no one. That's why that's why children is in court.
Oh.
For 50 years of bribery and robbing us.
Well, it's being a court matter. We can't try it here, but we can understand the hurt that you're still feeling. Well, how would you describe the music that you have already made, the original from the early days, compared to what you're putting out now, like your latest album, for example? Is there any significant difference between the music done in this time and that was done in former times, earlier days?
Well, the album is same one drop. It was produced by Adrian Sherwood. You know, so I love what the youths are doing. I love the music, you know, which is good. Some of the lyrics, I don't love some of the lyrics. But, you know, you just can't. What you gonna do? Time change. Everything changing. Everything changed. The youth them is getting what they should be getting, which is good. You know, but we never get nothing.
Yes.
You know? A lot of people see me, wow, yes, and I'm rich. Which is so sad.
Yeah.
As they see me, money is always and I'm rich. No, sir.
And they don't know the half.
No.
Yes. No. I see what you mean. But these days, when you get calls and messages and requests for to perform on shows, who are the people, in general terms, who are the people calling you? Where and from what places are they calling you?
Well, if it's the promoter, they will call me, you know. But remember, I'm singing Massive Attack. 26 years, going 27 years now.
Yes.
And it's really Massive Attack put me in that international. You know that
on that international market, yes.
Yes, so that I get that big exposure in Massive Attack for so much years, and I've never seen a song in Jamaica for 26 years.
My God, wow!
So a lot of people might wonder what kept me, you know.
Yes.
Massive Attack.
Oh.
Massive Attack, and now it's bloomed because this album that is that says it's Massive Attack, and they would say, "Oh, all the time you sing and give me a write up." But it's a group, but no, it's a chorus.
I see.
You see?
Yeah.
That album got album of the month, and they say it's well received. So it's far to go.
Right.
I hope I get the Grammy.
I hope so too.
You know.
But do you have any? Are you on the schedule for any other events for Reggae Month apart from what you taped this morning?
No more. Just this one.
Okay.
Just this one.
All right. How do you feel?
Probably
yes.
they would send call me again before. I don't know.
Yes. How do you feel about celebrating Reggae Month or February as Reggae Month? There are some people who say every day should be Reggae Day, and every month Reggae Month.
But it's my month. I was born on the 19th. So
the 19th. We need to add you to our list in that regard. So whenever the 19th comes around, we can.
You know, a lot of artists never born 19. Another artist born not now.
In February, yes.
They were born 19, but most artists born January and February.
Somebody should do some research there to find out what is it about those who are born in January and February and their involvement in music or the arts. Oh yes.
Look
at that.
January, man. But I'm still here.
Well, how can, in this age of technology, how can people follow you if they want to find out what's happening, where you are, if they want to go online? You know, everybody is online these days.
Yeah, well, if they go on Facebook, you know.
You're on Facebook?
Yes, they would go on my page, you know. But I don't even know how to send something to Facebook. So that's my problem, you know.
No, don't worry about it. Hold a moment there. We need to take a break, and let's see if we have found a studio version of Skylarking for you. That's it. Thanks.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45. Attention seniors. The Ministry of Labor and Social Security is now accepting applications for the social pension program. If you are 75 years or older and do not have a pension or steady income, you should apply. Take your government ID, birth certificate, NIS and TRN cards, and your bank account details. Remember, if you receive PATH or poor relief, your benefit will be transferred to the new program. For more information, call 876-922-8007. The Social Pension Program, caring for our elderly. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Stand up, firm on their feet. Yes, I live to work. I live to work and earn their bread honestly. Begging you at 5 cents, sir. Begging you at 10 cents, sir. Cannot help, no cannot help. So you keep on doing what you all are doing. You will end up in jail.
Horace Andy is our guest. This is the version, right? This is the studio version.
Yes, that's the original.
Right. And there's a dub version as well.
Yeah.
Yes, got you. Right. So now there are a lot of events for the month, as we've said, in terms of reggae month, and there's something about the month. And you say it looks like you're back in business again, so to speak, in terms of hitting the stage again in the summer.
Yes, I'll be touring with Massive Attack, and I'll be touring in my tour. My tour starts in April.
Oh, before summer.
Yes, April, May, June. That's that time artist tour. But before the job, if you take the job, we can't go.
Oh, so you haven't taken the job yet?
No.
Oh,
no,
I see.
How am I gonna pay my bills? And the children, them, I have to do it.
Well, that is it. Now you have to weigh your options and then act accordingly. Yes.
Yeah, my friend, when I sleep, you ever take a joke? You know, everybody can't sleep. You know? You ever take a joke?
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna know, you know.
Yes.
But don't take it. Once you don't take it, once you take it, whatever feed you pick it.
Well, at this rate, yes, you would have to take the single dose one, because if you go with the double dose, then it might mess up your schedule, your touring schedule.
Right. Yes. Something other than keep everybody.
Pfizer, the Pfizer.
Yes.
Yeah, we just got some of that. We got about a lot of that, 1,000, some serious figures. We got some from France recently.
Okay,
so we're not short of the Pfizer. We have more than enough.
Okay, well, I don't know where to go and take it.
Yes, man. You can go to. There are quite a few places. There's St. Joseph's Hospital.
Yes.
Yes, that's one location I know of. There's also the UWI Wellness Aging and Wellness Center. Okay. You ever been on the university campus up at Mona Road? Right. So if you take the post office gate, if you go through that gate, then you get to the intersection with the ring road. You cross the intersection, and you make a left turn. It's near to the clinic. It's right near to the clinic, because there's a clinic there.
Yeah, I've been up there already and take a test. I don't know if it's outside, right? In the university.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if they did the tests, if they did tests up there as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have options. Quite a few places.
Yeah.
But for me, my experience is that the best place in my experience is the UWI Aging and Wellness Center.
Okay.
That's the best place to get vaccinated, as far as I'm concerned. But people are free to get vaccinated elsewhere across the country. Yeah, it's just one of those realities. That's the world we're living in now.
Yeah.
It's hard for some of us, but we just have to do what we have to do. We have to weigh our options.
Right. And a new world, I don't know. We have to just live with it. We can't do nothing.
So it is. Yes. But anyway, it's nice to have this reasoning with you. We don't want to take up any more of your time, because who knows, you might.
Another time we can get longer,
Yeah, man, no problem.
Yes, my brother.
All right, so we're gonna play some more of Skylarking as we wrap. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, man.
All the best.
God bless every time.
Blessings to you too, Horace Andy. Skylarking is the selection that we have his biggest hit, as I understand it, and he's still working, and performed in a session this morning, which is going to be aired at some point, all a part of Reggae Month in a time of a pandemic.
Skylarking, that's what you do today. Skylarking, before they stand up, firm on their feet. Get a little work, and earn their bread honestly. Begging you a 5 cents, sir. Begging you a 10 cents, sir. Cannot help, no, cannot help.
So if you want to keep on doing what you all are doing, you will end up in pain.
No skylarking for Reggae Month. It's a lot of events, a lot of activities, and this is a big night. This is a big night at 6 o'clock this evening, starting as early as 6. You can check out PBC Jamaica, Jam Vision. These are on cable. PBC Jamaica is the state operated TV station, PBC Jamaica, and they also have a Facebook page as well, and I think a YouTube channel too. And then there's JCDC. They'll be streaming live on Facebook, the JCDC's Facebook page. The Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport Facebook page will also be humming with activity. And so too, the Honorable Olivia Babsy Grange's Facebook page. So that starts at 6 o'clock. It will feature Coffee, Capleton, Omi, Leroy Sibbles, Dean Fraser, and the Black Soil Band, plus the Reggae Month dancers, MC Yendi Phillips, and quite a lot of support. Jaria Chase, that's a Chase Fund, the Tourism Enhancement Fund, Jamaica Tourist Board, CPTC, Universal Service Fund, the Jamaica Observer, IRI FM, Gleaner Premium, JCDC, RJR Gleaner Communications Group, TVJ, J. Ray and Nephew. Those are the sponsors. This is Global Reggae Night tonight. Global Reggae Night, Night 1 Rewind. This evening, 6 o'clock, we gave you the lineup. And then at 7:40, it will be the In the Reggae Studio. And that will feature Ernie Smith. Ernie Smith at 7:40 this evening. And on all those networks we mentioned, PBCJ, that's the Public Broadcasting Corporation of Jamaica, Jam Vision, JCDC Facebook page, Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport Facebook page, and also the Minister's Facebook page as well. And then at 8:30 this evening, White River Reggae Bash featuring John Holt, 8:30 this evening. And again, it will be live on PBCJ, Jam Vision, JCDC Facebook page, and the Facebook pages of the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, and the Minister's page as well. So those are, if you're so inclined, it's a Friday night. And yes, the curfew has been extended by an hour, but we still don't have the kind of latitude that we used to have before COVID-19. So you can check out these events. Global Reggae Night Rewind, 6 o'clock this evening. In the Reggae Studio, Ernie Smith, 7:40. White River Reggae Bash, John Holt, 8:30 p.m. Echoes of Sound System, Get a Star versus Jamrock, 9 o'clock this evening. All live on PBCJ, Jam Vision, JCDC, Facebook page, Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport Facebook page, and the Minister's Facebook page as well. So there you go. It's all happening, all a part of Reggae Month, this music that we have given the world. Reggae and the celebration in the month of February. A busy month in terms of birthdays and other observances. Dennis Emmanuel Brown, the Crown Prince of Reggae, born on the 1st. The Gong himself, the legendary Honorable Robert Nesta Marley, OM, on the 6th. And you just heard from Horace Andy reminding us that his birthday is the 19th of February. This is also the month in which we lost Bunny Ruggs. This is the month. It's been what, about 8 years now? Yes, about 8 years now. good afternoon to Stephen Catcore. Good afternoon to you. We know you're one of our regular listeners. Thank you very much, and all the very best. Take care. All right, let's clear some more messages. We're going to get to that message, that extended message or series of messages from Crocs in Black River in a little while, because as we said, they have to be taken one behind the other sequentially, and we don't want to have to stop to cut in the middle of reading one of the messages. And so what we're going to do now is to move to a bit of the history that we like to share here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. We were sharing with you the story of Thomas Alva Edison, who was born on this day in 1847, and all his inventions, the phonograph, the incandescent electric lamp, the microphone, and the kinetoscope. And as we said, he was described as Little Al. He was called Little Al. His folks named him Alva, called him Alva or Al. And according to them, he was a curious child, always asking questions. Let that be a lesson to those of us who have to raise children. We must respond to them when they ask us questions. Let's respond to them, because you never know. You never know. We don't want to shut them down and tell them chat too much. Go sit down. Chat too much. No, don't do that to the children. They're learning to express themselves. Learning to express themselves. And we're told that Thomas Edison, who was always asking questions as a child, when he didn't get an answer, he would try to figure it out for himself by experimenting. We want to, His incessant questions exasperated his school teacher so much that Thomas Edison's mother had to take him out of school after only 3 months. Can you believe that? What a backward period that was, though. They didn't see the genius in the child. A lack of formal education did not stop Thomas Edison. He's considered the greatest inventor in history. There's more after the break.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106. At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock. Manage your waste and save. Learn more about various wastewater systems for farms and residential use, assistance in getting NEPA licenses, and monitoring and characterization of your wastewater. Tune in to Real Business this and every Tuesday at 10 a.m. for Manage Your Waste and Save. Brought to you by the Scientific Research Council Wastewater Management Services. Environmentally conscious, responsive, and solution-oriented. That's Manage Your Waste and Save. Listen to every Tuesday at 10 a.m. during Real Business, right here on Power 106 FM.
Now I next got this belly paid and overflowing. Father, I know things are going wrong, yeah. It's wickeder than before. When it really checks that we could have run things, but it doesn't look so anymore, no. Come down, Father, come down. I need you to come down, Father, come down.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:01. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4h01. 现在几点了？4点02分. A minute past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Let's read the messages from Crocs in Black River now. He says, "Good day, Mr. Malcolm. George Wright is taking indecency too far. During the march to Gordon House yesterday, the MPs marched as members of their respective parties, not as opposition and government. That only applies in Parliament, where parties are not recognized. Now, let's say that Mr. Wright was a member of a party called the Stool Party. He should sit with the caucus of people of like philosophy and ideology when he is in Parliament. And when it's time to march outside of Parliament, he should march with members of the Stool Party. And in the absence of any other such member, he should march with his trusty stool as company." Next message from Crocs in Black River. "In high school, I had an Englishman as my physics teacher. He would show us very thoroughly how to use the proper scientific methodology to reach a correct conclusion. And then he would jokingly show us how to use the Cook's method, meaning how you could cook up the method and come to the same result. It is my very inconsequential opinion that the Cook's method was used in the Nzinga King matter with the aim of producing a desired result. In my world, everything is about truth," says Crocs in Black River. Well, Crocs in Black River, thank you for your messages, and we see you have more. We'll come to the other messages. But unless you are able to prove otherwise, you realize that, Crocs? Unless you are able to prove otherwise, then the findings of both Indicom and the DPP stand. They stand. Now, there is an option, as you would have heard, included in the DPP's ruling, that Nzinga King can, in fact, pursue this matter in civil court. And therefore, there's another opportunity in that regard, because the demands of the criminal court are much higher than those of the civil court. So let's see how that works out. And Crocs in Black River says, "Finally, if her superiors had not found prima facie evidence that the police woman was involved in some misfeasance, then why was she summarily transferred? I suspect that they had ample evidence before the matter was put into the kitchen." Well, again, Crocs in Black River, unless, well, it is true that the policewoman was transferred. There is no doubt about that. And on a visit to Clarendon some months ago, we were in the company of people, and we'll not put it any stronger than that, but in the company of people who could give us chapter and verse of what happened. The thing, though, with that is that those people would have to be prepared to come forward to say, no man, I know how this thing go, and I want to give evidence, and I am going to give evidence how this thing really go. In the absence of such a testimony or such a statement or action or position or attitude of one who was close to what happened, one can only therefore go act on the basis of the evidence that is on the table. So that's what it boils down to. What is the evidence that we have? And does it rise to a certain level? And is there reasonable doubt? Or is it a clear-cut case? All of these considerations are necessary. And so we will always have people coming away with different perspectives. So Crux has made his point on 3 fronts or 3 counts here. And he did so in a very clever manner, as he is wont to do. Thank you for your message, Crux in Black River. Ralph says, hi, Dervan. The DPP is now a JLP according to some. When the PNP gets back, hold on, let's bring up this message. When the PNP gets back into power and she makes a ruling, I'm not sure she'll still be there, by the way. I think that her time had expired, so to speak, her time in office, and she was asked to stay on for, is it 2 or 3 more years? Either 2 or 3 more years in order to lead the transformation of the DPP's office or something to that effect. So I'm not sure if she'll, well, maybe she will. 3 years from now would be what? What year are we in again? 2022. That's 2025. So that would be time for another election, I think, is it? Last election was 2020. But does it make a difference, the fact that that was a little early? Well, whatever the situation, let's go back to the message. So the message, this message from Ralph says, hi, Dervan, the DPP is now a JLP according to some. When the PNP gets back into power and she makes rulings, that is rulings that are to the liking of the supporters who are now criticizing her, you're going to hear the same people say she is the best thing since sliced bread. I remember when former MP Mr. Azan alleged market scandal case was dropped because the evidence did not reach the threshold for a conviction. Many Laborites called the DPP all sorts of names, and the PNP supporters supported the ruling Jamaica. Supported the ruling. Jamaicans are very interesting people. That's an overworked word, by the way, interesting. If everything is interesting, then nothing is interesting. Think about it. So let us find more words. So instead of saying this is interesting, we could perhaps say, or that Jamaicans are very interesting people. Jamaicans are a very, for argument's sake, dynamic people. For argument's sake, Jamaicans are a very peculiar people. For argument's sake, Jamaicans are a very perceptible people. Whatever. But the point I'm making, let's stay away from overwork, from keep using the same words over and over and over again. So everything is interesting. If everything is interesting, then nothing is interesting. So let's find words that are appropriate to the moment, to the issue, to the fact, to the presentation, etc., etc. You get the picture. And we can do it. We are Jamaicans. We can do it. Few more messages. Good day, Mr. Malcolm. I am an aspiring artist and featured on the 20 EP, the King Shiloh record label, with artists such as Luciano and Louis Culture. More power to you. Congratulations. Congratulations. All the best. And here's another message from GMAC in the Cayman Islands. Good afternoon, Dervan. Is Mr. Wright a Jamaican representative of a constituency of Jamaicans? I think the leader of the opposition is bigger than allowing himself to stoop to such level and embarrassing another Jamaican, even if he's not a member of the party. Mr. Golding should apologize for the disparaging way in which he handled Mr. Wright. Well, if what we have seen and heard so far is anything to go by, Mr. Golding will not apologize. And let's see. Let's see who else is messaging us. All right, tell you what, let's go to this call coming through on our WhatsApp line, 876-365-3346. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I want to answer this question. They have a saying that say Jamaican people have short memory. And to me, it's true. Because I remember with Miss Nzinga case there, the first time that come up and the people start making noise, the police issue a statement. I don't know if you remember, saying the reason why you're here was cut because they fear she might harm herself. So when I hear the DP make that ruling, I wonder what happened to that first statement.
Well, the DPP has spoken about or has written about a series of statements which don't add up or don't match or are not coherent or otherwise cogent. So yeah,
that first statement that them issue, that should be a classic example to have the officer charge.
Yeah, but why didn't that feature? Why didn't that? Is it that it was included? Because I did read that in the DPP statement about the something about right. One of the statements said the Nzinga purportedly said that the police person held her hair in a bun and then cut. And then there was another statement that said something else as to.
Because one thing I hear, she said.
Hold a moment, please. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. Manage your waste and save. Learn more about various wastewater systems for farms and residential use, assistance in getting NEPA licenses, and monitoring and characterization of your wastewater. Tune in to Real Business this and every Tuesday at 10 a.m. for Manage Your Waste and Save. Brought to you by the Scientific Research Council Wastewater Management Services. Environmentally conscious, responsive, and solution-oriented. That's Manage Your Waste and Save. Listen to every Tuesday at 10 a.m. doing Real Business, right here on Power 106 FM.
Cause now everyone's cup is full with hate and overflowing. Father, I know things have gone wrong, yeah. Wickeder than before. Really believe we could have run things, but it don't look so anymore now. Come down, Father, come down. I beg you, come down, Father, come down. Father, come down, Father, come down. I beg you, come down.
Que ora es en español, son las 4:16. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:16. 现在地点了10点16分. 16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Yes, young people, we know it's a Friday, but you know what we always say? Have some fun doing the homework now so you can have some more fun this weekend. How about that? And as we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Thanks for holding. Please continue.
Yeah, but she also issue a statement that that way other inmates say. But what poor we have said the inmates say. That's them say inmates say, but the public now have no proof of that.
They gave statements.
Yeah, but what proof we
Giving
have? Inmates say we not
yeah, but giving a statement is not a joke thing, you know. That is a legally binding thing. You can't disown it when you give a statement.
Yeah, but the point I'm making, Mr. Malcolm, I can't say you will say, well, what proof other people have said, I say you will say.
No, people, you in any situation, well, not any, in some situations you have witnesses or people who regard themselves as witnesses or eyewitnesses because they were at a particular place at a particular time when a particular thing was unfolding.
Okay, so why they didn't charge them when they didn't meet them come testify?
No, but you have to, that might happen. That might happen in the civil case. Her lawyer is going to take the matter to civil court. As opposed to what they were trying to do before, which was to take it to the criminal court. That's what they were trying to do, take it to the criminal court. But the case didn't have all the elements according to the DPP.
So when they when they take it to the civil court, based on what I hear Mr. Willen reading on the news, the court gonna use it against her.
It's not a matter. It's not using anything against anybody. It's about Nzinga King's attorney saying, "Look, my client has suffered trauma and is still trying to cope with the trauma of having her hair cut, and this and so on, and will lay out the case, and will be seeking damages to the
sorry, based on what I hear she read on the news, if she's saying that inmates here is Miss Nzinga cut her own hair or pull out her own hair, then in court I don't think if the court go the way she said, she don't have much chance there.
No, but you would be prognosticating. No, you would be making a projection without any basis. We don't know that is what is going to happen. Remember, it's not about love. It's not about hate. It's not about war. It's not about peace. It's not about honesty. It's not about integrity. It's not even about justice itself. It's proving that something is, or something happened, or somebody did something, or somebody didn't do something. So when all the evidence is taken into account, and it depends on which angle the lawyer is coming from, because the lawyer can come from an angle of purely seeking remedies, seeking damages for his client in light of all that his client went through. Because there is some indication that the client did go through a traumatic experience.
If my memory serves me well, I think after she done read what she read, I think they said the young miss could also face charges of creating public mischief.
No, she said the police, if they so chose, could pursue the matter of public mischief. Up until this point, the police have not. So perhaps that charge is going to be dropped.
All right. So let's see how it play out in the civil case, and then I give you a call opportunity into my opinion on that.
Well, let's see. Let's see. All right. Thanks for the call.
Boss.
Take care. But this is the thing with court cases and matters that have to go before the DPP, for example, for a ruling, etc. It will always be controversial. You can't escape the controversy. Because remember, as human beings, first of all, we bring to the table our own principles, our own values. What do we stand for as individuals? So we have that. Plus we have our likes and our dislikes. Plus we have who we support and who we don't support. And so when the time comes for us to employ some kind of thought to a particular matter, depending on what angle or position I'm coming from, depending on my position, depending on my political party of choice, depending on who I like or who I don't like, I will express myself accordingly. And so you can't escape the controversy. There are those of us who have felt for a long time, and because of our history in Jamaica in the treatment of Rastafarians, it cuts deep when in 2021, 2022 Jamaica, we can be having this situation where a young Jamaican Rastafarian woman alleges that her hair was cut. The hair, which is a part of her Rastafarian faith. So there are people who feel very strongly about that. There are people who believe. So when you come from that position, as we tend to say in Jamaican parlance, me no care what you want to say. That's a Jamaican position. When we're sold on a thing, when we believe in something or someone, as my mother would say, kill them dead. They're not gonna stray from it. So me no want to hear nothing what I want to say. So the whole on fight against Rasta from long time and so on and so forth. So it's very easy to get emotional. But there's a thing called emotional intelligence. There's a thing called emotional intelligence. And it requires all of us to put our best foot forward where emotional intelligence is concerned. It's not a one-way street. We are emotional beings. That is a fact of life. But we are also supposed to be rational beings. Enough of me talking. Let's get back to more of your messages and your calls. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Those are the numbers to call. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Velta Wilson says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. To you too, Velta Wilson. Good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining us on both sides of the story. Let's go across to the YouTube channel now, the Dervan Malcolm YouTube channel. Angela Pink, hello to you. Good afternoon. Natalie Winter, good afternoon. She says, look, JLP or PNP, justice should have nothing to do with politics. In an ideal world, yes, but you can't escape the politics one way or another, even if it has nothing to do with you. Natalie Winter says, look also on the matter of the case. It's worth bringing a lawsuit in a civil court because too much controversial information. And then now she goes on to talk about the George Wright. She says the matter of George Wright must be sorted out by the Jamaica Labour Party because he won the ticket on a Jamaica Labour Party ticket. What are you doing on PNP side? She asks. And then she goes on to say, good, the PNP have a right to run him from walking with them. You are either a comrade or Labourite. Make up your mind or get out of politics. And then she closes by saying, principles are principles. You can serve two masters. Really, Natalie? You sure you didn't make an error there? Thank you very much for your messages. Nonetheless, as we continue with more, well, since we're talking politics, can we go back? What time is it? If we have enough time. Quickly. Sir Augustus Hemings started his tenure as governor of Jamaica on this day in 1898. It was during Sir Hemings' time that Alexander Dixon won the St. Elizabeth seat to become the first Black member of the Legislative Council in 1899, right here in Jamaica. Incorruptible in politics and honest in all his dealings, he preferred to be known as Mr. Dixon and not as honorable. Listen to the politics of old. This was 1899. This man, Mr. Dixon, Mr. Alexander Dixon, was described as incorruptible, cannot be corrupted, incorruptible in politics. Here's another word that was associated with the name Alexander Dixon: honest, incorruptible in politics, and honest in all his dealings. He preferred to be known as Mr. Dixon and not as honorable. Something similar to what Bruce Golding did. He said, no, I don't want the most honorable title or the honorable title for that matter. Mr. Golding is fine. Alexander Dixon later moved to Kingston, where he was a member of the City Council and founder member of the National Club, which agitated for more representative government in Jamaica. According to E.V. Clark, Alexander Dixon's memory in Jamaica should always be honored as of one who, placed in a difficult position in the early years of popular representation, carried himself with dignity. It's Jamaican politicians are talking about, you hear all these words: incorruptible, honest, dignity. This was 1898, 1899 in Jamaica. So he carried himself with dignity. He often used the vernacular. In other words, he often spoke in the Jamaican tongue when speaking in the council. And strange to say, it went down well, possibly because whatever he said was always full of good common sense. And that's the thing about common sense. Common sense is not very common, and we shouldn't take it for granted. We see Richie Nebar calling on WhatsApp. You might have a little wait, Richie. We have a scheduled interview coming up at 4:30. Let's take the break.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30. Manage your waste and save. Learn more about various wastewater systems for farms and residential use, assistance in getting NEPA licenses, and monitoring and characterization of your wastewater. Tune in to Real Business this and every Tuesday at 10 a.m. for Manage Your Waste and Save. Brought to you by the Scientific Research Council Wastewater Management Services. Environmentally conscious, responsive, and solution-oriented. That's Manage Your Waste and Save. Listen every Tuesday at 10 a.m. doing Real Business, right here on Power 106 FM. It's here, it's there, it's everywhere. It's onespotmedia.com. Watch your favorite local program or listen to your favorite radio station from anywhere in the world on your tablet, smartphone, or personal computer. Download the app now and keep up to date with your favorite local programs on TVJ. Check us out at onespotmedia.com. Follow us on Instagram, facebook.com/onespotmedia, and subscribe now. OneSpotMedia.com.
Try Frankie again.
Like the way that you do it. When you do it on the queen, she said, like the way that you move. I like the way that you groove. She said, okay, friend, now you're a yaga yaga. Okay, friend, bully for you. Okay, friend, now you're a yaga yaga. I wanna be one too. She said, okay, friend, now I'm a yaga yaga. Okay, friend,
Donkey.
I do. Okay, friend, now I'm a yaga yaga. I am just like you. She said, oh yeah.
Reggae Month activities continue here in Jamaica. Let's tell you that Global Reggae Night is tonight, starting at 6 o'clock in the evening, live on PBCJ, as in PBC Jamaica, on cable. Also live on Jam Vision, live on the Facebook pages of the JCDC, the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport, and the minister herself, with a lot of support in terms of sponsorship from JAREA, that's the Jamaica Reggae Industry Association, the Chase Fund, the Tourism Enhancement Fund, the Jamaica Tourist Board, CPTC, Universal Service Fund, the Jamaica Observer, IRI FM, Gleaner Premium, JCDC, RGR Gleaner Communications Group, TVJ, and J. Ray and Nephew. And night one will feature Coffee, Capleton, Omi, Leroy Sibbles, Dean Fraser, and the Black Soil Band, plus Reggae Month dancers. Yendi Phillips will be doing emceeing duties. That starts at 6 o'clock this evening. At 7:40, Ernie Smith in the Reggae Studio. 7:40 this evening, Ernie Smith. And then looking back at White River Reggae Bash, John Holt, Friday, well, today, 8:30 this evening, in fact. And this is all a part of Reggae Month. And we've been featuring a couple of our artists. Earlier on today, we're happy to have exchanged words in a good way with Horace Andy. And now we have the pleasure of saying good afternoon and welcome to Errol Dunkley. Good afternoon to you, Errol Dunkley. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Good afternoon to you too.
Great.
It's a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much. Tell us about this song, because as a youngster, I used to wonder, what is he saying? Yaga yaga, Oh, something Yaga Yaga. Can you give us the background to OK Fred, please?
You see the word yaga yaga, right?
Yes.
It's a Jamaican creative word.
Yes.
You would come from school and you look shabby.
Yes.
And you're dirty.
Yes.
Your mom would tell you that. Go and take off those dirty clothes. You look like a yaga yaga. That's how the word create. I didn't write the song though.
Oh, okay.
I know it's routed.
Oh yes, indeed. I read that.
I took it international, you know.
Right, because it was a big hit for you.
Yeah, that's my biggest song up to today.
Mm-hmm.
I have other big songs like Cinderella, Movie Star, You'll Never Know, You're Gonna Need.
Oh, hold on, Cinderella. Oh yes. I'm hearing them in my head now.
Love is Amazing.
Yes.
All those songs.
Yes.
You'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yes.
If you break my heart, I'll go. But I didn't get to sing those songs today.
Okay. Well, how do you keep your voice supple or fresh or after all these years? Because when you struck that tune a while ago, it just sounded like I was listening to the recording.
Yeah, the thing is, early to bed.
Early to bed, early to rise.
That's right.
So
early to bed keep your tune clean, you know.
Ah, I see how that goes. So how much have you been able to do in terms of Reggae Month 2022? What in terms of performances?
Well, I want to tell you that I've been refusing shows because of the pandemic. I'm watching it, you know, because I've got a 6 month tour coming up.
Oh wow!
Starting in March, April, sometime around here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I'm watching the system.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I have a feeling this is gonna go down. And I don't really want to take no injection, but if I have to take it, the vaccine, I'll have to take it because I have to work.
Well, you're in the same frame of mind as Horace Andy. He said the same thing earlier on, that he's not a fan of the vaccine. He doesn't necessarily want to take it, but if he's going to earn a bread, he'll just have to do what he has to do.
You have to pay the bills.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So where
I was just talking to a promoter.
Yes.
In Chicago, before you called me here.
Oh.
And I've been telling her that I don't ready to come yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't. And first of all, I've got a band that I work with. I tour with them all the while.
Yes.
In England.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody is gonna book me,
they have to book your band as well.
Yeah, that is gonna be
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't have to book the band.
Oh.
The space have to be there.
Oh.
I mean, like, their show have to be a different day.
I see what you mean. Yes.
My band is a band that sends for me every year. It's just since this...
The virus.
Yeah, since this virus,
yeah. But I get the impression with all that has been happening all over the world, not least of all in England, a lot of relaxation of the protocols has been taking place right across the globe. And there's some indication, knocking on wood, not talking too soon, but there's some indication that that there's going to be a further opening up of the world as far as events and activities are concerned.
We need it.
Yes.
We need it.
So what have you been doing all these years? For those of us who have not seen you on a stage in Jamaica for some time, for example, how have you been managing? What have you been up to, especially during this pandemic? Just sitting at home, nothing to do?
Nah, man, I didn't have a studio at the special, man.
Oh, where say?
Only for songs I do daily.
Mm.
Sometimes I'll 15 special for sounds all over the world.
Oh.
Yeah, man, I'm busy, man. I'm busy.
That's good.
Today alone, we did 7 songs.
Oh wow! And
Good money.
And these are new songs.
No.
Okay. Like
these are
dub plates.
Songs there, but now we change up the lyrics in a sound clash style.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Good.
You don't know about the dub thing.
Yes, man. Yes, of course. Of course, I do.
See, a sound use one of my tune now and win the sound clash. How long now? Tuesday. Yeah, a sound named Inner City.
Which song did they use?
They use You're Gonna Need Me.
Oh.
Lyrics change up.
I understand.
It was a custom song.
Yes.
Where them give me the lyrics.
And you read
about the other song.
I understand.
the other song, yeah.
Yes, nice. So
like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had two good interviews in the Cleaner the other day.
Right. Good.
About 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Just over 2 months. Yeah,
so you're still on the job?
Yeah, I'm active, man. Ask anybody, they will tell you.
Yes. All right. Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. We're going to leave it here for now. Play some more of your song and take it away. Well done. All the best to you.
So who am I speaking to?
This is Dervan Malcolm.
Dervan.
And the station is Power 106 FM.
Power 106 FM.
Yes.
All right, Dervan. Have a blessed day.
You too. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Now you're a yaga, okay, friend, bully for you, okay, friend. Now you're a yaga, I wanna be one too, okay, friend. Now I'm a yaga, okay, friend. What do I do? Okay, friend. Now I'm a yaga. I am just like you. She said, like the way that you do it. When you do it on the queen, she said, like the way that you move. I like the way that you groove. She said, okay, friend. Now.
And if you're trying to find this song, the title is Okay, Fred. Okay, Fred. Okay, Fred. This is Errol Dunkley. The song was written by John Holt, as you heard, but made popular by Errol Dunkley. Okay, Fred. It's all a part of Reggae Month 2022. And we remind you, Global Reggae Night 1 Rewind this evening at 6 o'clock. Coffee, Capleton, Omi, Leroy Sibbles, Dean Fraser and the Black Soil Band, Reggae Month dancers, and MC Yendi Phillips. I remember traveling with Leroy Sibbles. I think I asked him about his name, whether it was Sibbles or Siblings. I don't remember if he joked about writing a check with whatever spelling and he would take it or something like that. Traveling with him in where were we in I think it was in Florida. Yeah, more in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. Sipa Copper.
Sipa Copper?
Yes, Sipa Copper.
Sipa Copper what?
Sipa Copper Ital Jamaican Moringa tea bags. Sipa Copper Moringa, turmeric, vervine, neem, and guinea hen wheat tea bags today. Sipa Copper tea is available in supermarkets island-wide. So Sipa Copper today, you'll be happy you did. Distributed by Caramed Group Limited.
Jesus, Jesus, oh Jesus, Jesus, oh how I love
to Power 106 FM for the longest running religious call-in program on Jamaican radio, The Prayer Line. Join Pastor Errol Hay and his team as they offer spiritual guidance and intercession grounded in biblical doctrine. Hear powerful testimonies from Jamaica and around the world. The Prayer Line, a source of support and inspiration in these trying times. That's The Prayer Line on Power 106 FM, Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Join us.
You shall live, declare the works of the Lord. Amen. You shall be a living testimony here on the Lord's side. Come down, whenever you come down, Father, come down, come down, Father, come down. In my heart, I know that you won't let your chosen people suffer. I know you never let us down. No, no, no. Many times I could have picked up a gun, I could have go out the street and play.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:13. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5h-13. 现在几点了？5:13 13 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? We started sharing with you a bit of history from 1898, 1899. Sir Augustus, this is 1898, Sir Augustus Hemming started his tenure as governor of Jamaica on this day in 1898. It was during Sir Hemming's time that Alexander Dixon won the St. Elizabeth seat to become the first Black member of the Legislative Council in 1899. Incorruptible in politics and honest in all his dealings. That is how he was described. A politician being described as incorruptible in politics and honest in all his dealings. He preferred to be known as Mr. Dixon and not as Honorable. Alexander Dixon later moved to Kingston, where he was a member of the City Council and founder member of the National Club, which agitated for more representative government in Jamaica. According to E.V. Clark, Alexander Dixon's memory in Jamaica should always be honored as of one who, placed in a difficult position in the early years of popular representation, carried himself with dignity. Did you hear that? He carried himself with dignity. He often used the vernacular. In other words, he spoke Jamaican, spoke in the Jamaican tongue when speaking in the council. And strange to say, it went down well, possibly because whatever he said was always full of good common sense. We need some more common sense people. Whatever Mr. Dixon said, Mr. Alexander Dixon, was always full of good common sense. But as we have said, the problem with common sense is that it is not common at all. We need more common sense people and more people who speak with a level of common sense that we're all yearning for. We're still researching Alexander Dixon, and so we'll have the opportunity to say some more about him. In the meantime, let's go back to Governor Hemming, who started his tenure as governor of Jamaica on this day in 1898. Governor Hemming sat down with a Gleaner reporter for an interview in 1900. One of the questions Governor Hemming was asked was, should the people trouble themselves with politics. In response, the governor said, most certainly, and I appeal to the people to send to the Legislative Council such men as can best advise the government. In other words, you don't just want to send cronies and political hacks and so on. You want to send to the Legislative Council, as it was then, Parliament as it is now, you want to send to the Legislative Council such men as can best advise the government. Now, there was a little bit of gender politics there, because back then it was mostly men involved in these matters. But the fact that he spoke of sending to the Legislative Council such men as can best advise the government. So you really want your best advising government. You really want your best minds to be giving government advice. And he goes on, and see that the money which is drawn from the people is spent to their advantage. This is governance they were discussing here in 1900 in Jamaica. 1900. That these men must not only give the best advice, or such men as can best advise the government, but they must also see that the money which is drawn from the people, taxes, the money that is drawn from the people is spent to their advantage. Whose advantage? The advantage of the people. It's the people who must benefit from their own money. The people of Jamaica. And the story goes on. We want more work and less talk. Are you listening to this? This is 1900. We want more work and less talk. I agree. And yes, I host a talk show, but that's just one of the things I do. It's not all talk. It's one of the things I do. And in other instances where I talk, it's for training purposes, training others. Anyway, let's see. Governor Hemming was also asked, in what ways can the people assist the government? And this was his reply: by taking full advantage of the magnificent opportunities which the country affords them. We live in a land in which almost any article of food or commerce can be cultivated. By taking advantage of these opportunities, the people will increase the volume of exports. So this thing about export or die, not new, right? The people were well aware of it. This is 1900. Increase the volume of exports, have larger sums of money at their command. And it's a recognition that the more money people have, or the more money people are able to earn, the more they will spend, generally speaking. So it goes on to say, by taking advantage of these opportunities, the people will increase the volume of exports, have larger sums of money at their command, and enable the government more easily to shoulder their burden. So they clearly understood government and governance in 1900. I strongly urge the people, says Augustus Hemming, I strongly urge the people to cultivate the land. This is agriculture. And we're still talking about agriculture from the standpoint of what we need to do, or what we should do, or what we should have done. They were talking about it from 1900. I strongly urge the people to cultivate the land. The words of Sir Augustus Hemming, who became governor of Jamaica on this day in 1898. We have more history, but we're moving away from the history for a moment because we have so many messages. Let's go quickly. Ralph says, very good monologues just now. love it. We argue based on what we feel, how we feel about someone. And another message from Patriotic Jamaican in New York. Mr. Malcolm, I listen with interest as all these people call in to voice their disappointment at the DPP's decision not to prosecute the police officers. To me, they're just exhibiting their undying hate for the police. Well, that's a sweeping statement. Maybe you have one or two or a few, but can't be everybody. Sounds to me like they were just licking their chops in anticipation of the police being thrown in jail. Now the DPP is earning their wrath for not satisfying their desire. The police are never given the benefit of the doubt in authority hating, law enforcer hating Jamaica. The police are never given the benefit of the doubt in authority hating, law enforcer hating Jamaica, says Patriotic Jamaican in New York. Richie Nebar promised to call us back, and he hasn't. No problem. Maybe another time. Beresford says, Brother Dervan, if what we've seen or heard so far is anything to go by, Mr. Wright should be nowhere near the Parliament building. And why shouldn't Mr. Golding not run him out of the company of the PNP? Why should Mr. Golding hog up embarrassment? And then another message from Beresford. If the DPP indicated, or it can be inferred from her statements, that the girl might have inflicted harm to herself, then that would certainly go towards the preponderance of the evidence being on the side of the police. I would think that the findings of the DPP must be seriously considered in any further legal proceedings. Lloyd says, good day, Mr. Dervan. Good day to Jamaica. Mr. Dervan, I quit my over-the-road job. Oh, really? Because it's really stressing me out, not getting to eat right and get my good rest. So now I'm going to drive flatbed, still 18-wheeler truck, and now I have to go back in training to be qualified for flatbed. I don't have to do any test for my CDL license. My license is Chris like Excelsior Watercrackers. Just will do local tri-state area. Home every day and off on weekends, Mr. Dervan. Love you and Jamaica always, and will always do so. Thank you for that update, Lloyd, in Philadelphia. And there's a voice note which we haven't been able to play off air. And so we're going to have to skip that. And there's another message from Crocs in Black River. He says, the term of the DPP was extended when Dr. Phillips was opposition leader. Therefore, it happened in 2020. All right. Thank you very much, Crocs in Black River. Look at the time. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Friday, the 11th of February, 2022. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on. Nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns Monday afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Have a safe, peaceful weekend.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible. Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.
Done. Bye.